Visit to Vidyasagar, August 5th, Saturday, 1882. Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was born in the village of Bir Singh, not far from Kamarpukur, Sri Ramkrishna's birthplace. He was known as a great scholar, educator, writer, and philanthropist. One of the creators of modern Bengali, he was well versed in Sanskrit grammar and poetry. His generosity made his name a household word with his countrymen, most of his income being given in charity to widows, orphans, indigent students, and other needy people. Nor was his compassion limited to human beings. He stopped drinking milk for years so that the calves should not be deprived of it, and he would not drive in a carriage for fear of causing discomfort to the horses. He was a man of indomitable spirit, which he showed when he gave up the lucrative position of principal of the Sanskrit College of Calcutta because of a disagreement with the authorities. His affection for his mother was especially deep. One day, in the absence of a ferry boat, he swam a raging river at the risk of his life to fulfill her wish that he should be present at his brother's wedding. His whole life was one of utter simplicity. The title Vidyasagar, meaning Ocean of Learning, was given him in recognition of his vast erudition. Learning from M that he was a teacher at Vidyasagar school, the master asked, "Can you take me to Vidyasagar? I should like very much to see him." M told Ishwar Chandra of Sri Ramkrishna's wish, and the Pandit gladly agreed. He asked M to bring the master some Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. He only wanted to know what kind of Paramahansa the master was, saying, "Does he wear an ochre cloth?" M answered, "No, sir, he is an unusual person. He wears a red bordered cloth and polished slippers. He lives in a room in Rani Rasmani's temple garden. In his room, there is a couch with a mattress and a mosquito net. He has no outer indication of holiness, but he doesn't know anything except God. Day and night he thinks of God alone." On the afternoon of August 5th, the master left Dakshineshwar in a hackney carriage, accompanied by Bhavnath, M and Hazra. Vidyasagar lived in Badur Bagan in central Calcutta, about 6 miles from Dakshineshwar. On the way, Sri Ramkrishna talked with his companions, but as the carriage neared Vidyasagar's house, his mood suddenly changed. He was overpowered with divine ecstasy. Not noticing this, M pointed out the garden house where Raja Ram Mohan Roy had lived. The master was annoyed and said, "I don't care about those things now." He was going into an ecstatic state. The carriage stopped in front of Vidyasagar's house. The master alighted, supported by M, who then led the way. In the courtyard, there were many flowering plants. As the master walked into the house, he said to M, like a child, pointing to his shirt buttons, "My shirt is unbuttoned. Will that offend Vidyasagar?" "Oh no," said M. "Don't be anxious about it. Nothing about you will be offensive. You don't have to button your shirt." He accepted the assurance simply, like a child. Vidyasagar was about 62 years old, 16 or 17 years older than the master. He lived in a 2-story house built in the English fashion with lawns on all sides and surrounded by a high wall. After climbing the stairs to the second floor, Sri Ramkrishna and his devotees entered a room at the far end of which Vidyasagar was seated facing them with a table in front of him. To the right of the table was a bench. Some friends occupied chairs on the other 2 sides. Vidyasagar rose to receive the master. Sri Ramkrishna stood in front of the bench with one hand resting on the table. He gazed at Vidyasagar as if they had known each other before and smiled in an ecstatic mood. In that mood, he remained standing a few minutes. Now and then, to bring his mind back to the normal consciousness, he said, "I will have a drink of water." In the meantime, the young members of the household and a few friends and relatives of Vidyasagar had gathered around. Sri Ramkrishna, still in an ecstatic mood, sat on the bench. A young man, 17 or 18 years old, who had come to Vidyasagar to seek financial help for his education, was seated there. The master sat down at a little distance from the boy, saying in an abstracted mood, "Mother, this boy is very much attached to the world. He belongs to thy realm of ignorance." Vidyasagar told someone to bring water and asked M whether the master would like some sweetmeats also. Since M did not object, Vidyasagar himself went eagerly to the inner apartments and brought the sweets. They were placed before the master. Bhavnath and Hazra received their share. When they were offered to M, Vidyasagar said, "Oh, he is like one of the family. We needn't worry about him." Referring to a young devotee, the master said to Vidyasagar, "He is a nice young man and is sound at the core. He is like the river Falgu. The surface is covered with sand, but if you dig a little, you will find water flowing underneath." After taking some of the sweets, the master with a smile began to speak to Vidyasagar. Meanwhile, the room had become filled with people. Some were standing and others were seated. "Master, today at last I have come to the ocean." This is an allusion to the title of the host. Vidyasagar means ocean of learning. Up till now, I have seen only canals, marshes, or a river at the most. But today I am face to face with the Sagar, the ocean. All laugh. Vidyasagar smiling, "Then please take home some salt water." Again there is a laughter. Master, "Oh no, why salt water? You aren't the ocean of ignorance. You are the ocean of Vidya, knowledge. You are the ocean of condensed milk." All laugh. Vidyasagar, "Well, you may put it that way." The Pandit became silent. Sri Ramkrishna said, "Your activities are inspired by Sattva. Though they are Rajasic, they are influenced by Sattva. Compassion springs from Sattva. Though work for the good of others belong to Rajas, yet this Rajas has Sattva for its basis and is not harmful. Shuka and other sages cherish compassion in their minds to give people religious instruction, to teach them about God. You are distributing food and learning. That is good too. If these activities are done in a selfless spirit, they lead to God. But most people work for fame or to acquire merit. Their activities are not selfless. Mere Pandits are like a diseased fruit that becomes hard and puckered and will not ripen at all. Such a fruit has neither the freshness of a green fruit nor the flavor of a ripe one. Vultures soar very high in the sky, but their eyes are fixed on rotten carrion on the ground. The book learned are reputed to be wise, but they are attached to woman and gold. Like the vultures, they are in search of carrion. They are attached to a world of ignorance. Compassion, love of God, and renunciation are the glories of true knowledge. Vidyasagar listened to these words in silence. The others too gazed as the master and were attentive to every word he said. Vidyasagar, though a student of Hindu philosophy, was reticent about giving spiritual instruction. Once, when M asked him his opinion of it, Vidyasagar said, "I think the philosophers have failed to explain what was in their minds." But in his daily life, he followed all the rituals of Hindu religion and wore the sacred thread of a Brahmin. About God, he had once declared, "It is indeed impossible to know him. What then should be our duty? It seems to me that we should live in such a way that, if others followed our example, this very earth would be heaven. Everyone should try to do good to the world.